Okay guys, today we are using our dark brown ink and then we're also going to use our medium brown ink, give her a two-tone look, and this is the original Shade Me Pixel Blade. The reason I'm doing this is I really want to keep these front strokes really fluffy and kind of like just really like crispy, so and just a little bit more intense, a little bit more texture. You get a more blended stroke look with the Pixel Me, and so by using the Shade Me original Pixel Blade to do pixel blading, it just gives it a little more oomph. So just a tiny bit of pigment on your blade, and I'm just gonna do these super space strokes. So I'm gonna actually start here. Sometimes I like to start where their natural hair starts and then work backwards. So brick, and then just continue on, lightly turning the blade as I go. Oh my goodness, okay there. You are gonna laugh at how easy it is to do thinner brows like this. And then in between these strokes, I'm gonna do the other color. It's gonna be so fun. And just continuing to follow her natural hair pattern. And with pixel bladed strokes, I like to give them a little bit more like length. It just keeps it looking really flowy. Oh, how are you doing pain-wise, by the way? Good. She gave me a thumbs up.
No pain.
Good. Okay. And then we'll just keep continuing on. And her hair pretty much grows at a side or a side flowing or a downward flow starting about here. So now we're just transitioning to flowing downwards. And we'll just continue on. Oh, thank you. Oh, perfect. Through this tail. So this is so funny, guys. I microblade at my sister's lash studio because I just don't do it that much anymore. I used to, be like full time, but now my product business is kind of taken over. So since I only do it like a day or two a week, I just share with her. So I finished my last client, and then she was working after me, so her next lash client came in, and we just got talking about her brows. So this is totally spontaneous, spur of the moment. We decided to just do her brows today and film it. So it's just too funny. I love it. It just worked out awesome. Okay, now I'm just going to do a really, really light prick through this underside just to give it a tiny bit of cleanness, but just up to here. I want to keep it really fluffy there. I'm just noticing that this needs to come just a tiny bit thicker. Okay, so there is our first pass. And I like to just kind of gently massage in the pigment. And then just use a water wipe. And I'm just going to put a really light amount of numbing cream over. Both Romantic and Nummy actually work really good as a secondary. And just leave that on for just a second. And then wipe. And I just want to reiterate a few of these front strokes. There we go. And then we're just going to occlude it with some pigment. Add a little numbing cream on top. And then go ahead and let this sit while we work on the other brow. But just after I wiped, I saw that I had to do a few more taps in that front area to have it be all balanced. So yeah. And same thing, we're just going to keep these head strokes kind of nice and curvy. I'm trying to do just a few more taps on this now that I know it wasn't quite enough. You know, I had to go back in. And sometimes I'm rocking this way, more center, and then as I get to the front, I'm rocking a little bit more forward. I'm not sure if you can see that. And always just listening for that prick, 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 prick. Showing you that you're hitting the correct depth in the skin. And this is, I'm not going to say it's more of like an advanced brow, but I'm just saying that, you know, I'm not going quite into depth like you're a beginner. So if this is your first video you're watching of Pixelblading, please do go take at least my free Pixelblading, what do I call that? I call it a mini course, but it gives you a really good introduction to Pixelblading. I love that we do a custom flow pattern because it just looks so much more natural to have it work with their natural hair. And this brow is a totally different pattern. We are still doing upward strokes right now. And to soften this, we're definitely going to want to put in some V's with that second color. But that's why we have to keep these strokes just really wispy and separated so that we leave room for that second color. Yeah, still upwards. But I'm telling you, you will see, but what makes this look so much more natural is having it follow their natural flow. Sometimes the pattern itself, if you were to do it on like a person with no hair, you would be like, I don't love that pattern. But that is the ideal pattern for that person mixed with their hair. Otherwise you get cross-hatching and other things. I'm going to start with a light tap for the underline, just to give a little bit of crispness to those tails. And I'll actually just continue it on since we're kind of in that zone right now. And then taper off. And then just do our few downward flowing tails. So since she has no natural hair, we can start to kind of do our thing. And I am doing just a little bit lighter pressure on this side than I did the other side on her tails. Because when I wiped, I could tell that it was just like a little bit, I'd rather have it be a little bit on the shallow side than a little bit on the deep side. And so like, for example, this side I'll probably have to go over the tail one more time, which is totally fine. But that side, there's probably enough pigment in there. Okay, and there's first pass for that brow. I'll wipe it off and see if I want to do just a few more little things like I did the other brow before occluding. First scrub it in, and you can just go back and forth, or you can do little circles and then circles back, up and down, side to side. If you do that, you do get just a little bit more pigment in there. And that is actually pretty close to what I was hoping for. I think I'm going to do 3 more pricks of the dark brown here before moving on to our second color. So I'm going to add just a second of more numbing. Just a swipe. Okay, and just remove that numbing and just do those handful of spots. gonna do a tiny bit more on these centers. And then through here. And then just a tiny bit right here. I lied, I just about did a full second pass on that. That's okay. Okay, and now we will occlude and add a little bit of numbing like we did on the other side. And then we should be good to go to start with our second color. I am, after I fully wipe this off, gonna sit her up and just double check for balance. If there's any little adjustments we need to make, then we can do that, like plan that out for that second pass to balance it out. Okay, so here's what we got so far. This darker color really helps blend in her natural hair, but now I just want to add some fullness, but like in a softer tone, so it'll kind of help ombre these fronts. Since we're building further in than she's used to, it's going to feel overwhelming, so having this be ombre and just a little bit softer is going to help. And then I do want to add some shading and just get some really clean like fullness in the tails. It's going to be so fun. And so now we switch from our dark brown to our medium brown. And this is in my Ink Me line, of course. I just got that a little bit too much pigment, so it's gonna get a little messy here, I'm sorry. But we're just going to do these in between, and how I'm gonna do these is actually in a V shape. I'll show you what I mean. So I want the fullness to be more at the bottom and then taper in. So we're gonna start here, and then create a V. And same thing here, start here, and create a V. I'm not doing very many taps. These are almost gonna come off as shading, but we're gonna call this directional shading. So basically having these shaded areas be very purposely in between the other hairs and following the direction that the strokes are moving. It's gonna create a very cohesive look and add additional texture in there. Gonna do 2 V's through here. So 1, 2, actually I might even do a third. And 3. And then just add a little bit in here. Okay. And then if you can turn to this side here, just do that same thing, just a few V's. So 1, 2, 3, just a few more in between here as well. Sorry, I just got messy on you again. Okay, hopefully you guys can visualize what we did there. And I'm just gonna move forward and do the exact same thing on the other side, and then we're gonna look, to be honest, we might be done. Okay, and turn. Sorry, I'm gonna try to work with less pigment on my blade this time. So, again, starting here, and then V'ing off, so just like this. Starting here, V'ing off, starting here, V'ing off, and we're messy already. I'm fired. Okay. We're just gonna keep going. This is actually just such a nice break. We're moving right now with a 2- and 3-year-old who have been just having a complete meltdown that all of their toys are gone. They just keep going upstairs into their playroom and just sitting down and crying. All my toys are gone. And it's so sad too, because we're gonna have to stay with family while we're looking for a new house, well, not, I'm sorry, we have our new house, but I'm sorry, it's just not closing until the end of the month. So they're going to be without their toys for a minute. I mean, we got them like one bin, but you know what I'm saying. Like they, you know, their Legos and their cars and all the things that we don't need to take with them to Grammy's. So they're having a rough go. It's hard to be a 2 and 3 year old. But this is just nice. Be away from the screaming and the chaos of packing and moving. This is such a nice break. I really love my job. Okay, and I'm just doing the same thing, just doing these in between. And then sometimes I actually turn this way and work this way. And I'm gonna just do that same 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The best part about this too is that you totally can overlap. Definitely can't do that with microblading. So it's awesome because you can get like a more textured, natural look. And you know, just hairs are normally like a little more free flowing and not so perfect, right? So having kind of one come here, and kind of you create a little bit more of a natural looking flow. Okie doke, guys. So what I'm gonna do at this point is just put a tiny bit of my Heal Me oil on her. It's just gonna help stop lymph fluid, and then let her sit for 2 minutes, and then we'll do our reveal, see where we're at. We might be done, we might need some perfecting. Ready, set, go. Okay, so I'm just gonna do 2 drops of this on, and then I'll send her home with this. And I'll show you after we wipe her pigment off. Okay. There's our reveal. And open. And let's turn this way. I am happy with those. I am going to clean them up just a little bit with a razor. Okay, and then turn the other way. I might do just a handful more pricks in between on the lighter color right here. There's just one little hair there. And then turn the other way. And there's one little hair underneath here. I guess actually there's just a few little guys right there. And other than that, her natural hair is good to go. So yeah, I'm just gonna add just a handful of pricks right in here, and then we will be done. Okay, and I just let that sit just for like 30 seconds. Okay, I'm doing this with the medium brown. I'm just doing a little bit more right in here. Should do the trick. So now I'm just gonna put Heal Me over everything, and then I'll do her final reveal. Thank you so much for watching. This was so fun. I hope you learned something, and I hope you love pixel blading. Bye.